I'll now turn it over to Fran Brooks of Vashon Senior Center Villages to offer her commentary. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Great.
Okay, good, thank you. So we've been hearing about the cumulative experience of a variety of villages and research partnerships that can help grow the village, this movement. So now it's time to get personal. Consider impact. What's impactful in your village? In preparing to share with you today, I realized that I didn't like the intensity of the word impact. So I shifted my impression. First, I saw a pool table. I liked the image that I could use the energy from my village experience and focus it to get things rolling for more seniors beyond my own. Second, I found where I felt most impacted by my involvement with my village, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But first, we've been sitting here for a while. We've heard a lot, familiar to some of you, unfamiliar with others. So take a comfortable breath slowly and exhale and consider. What brings you joy when you see the fruit of your labor? What's working well in your village? What are you most proud of? And what makes people want to join your village? What brings you joy? My village, like yours, is unique to my community. It fits like a glove. We have a short history, but clearly the most important offering is rides to medical. You can relate? I assume this is boring and not worthy of more research. I wasn't even going to bring it up. Lack of transportation is a known challenge to healthy aging. But if the question is, where do I see impact in my village? I immediately recall the passion in my seniors. I take their phone calls. I hear the overwhelming anxiety and fear that they will not be able to see their doctor. And later, the equally palpable relief and fear that they will, an equally palpable relief when they know there is a volunteer who will drive them to their appointment. The anxiety that plagues us in the unknown is crippling, and when it carries on for days and weeks, especially. As helpers, we recognize the human suffering, but less is known that it strains our fire department resources and advances the destructive force of aging and chronic illness. I suggest that documenting the critical importance of my village volunteers would support the argument for funding this service. The volunteer drivers, orchestrated through the village model, save lives, improve health and well-being, and decrease the crippling cost of illness and suffering. I live on a big island with about 11,000 others who enjoy rural living, just a ferry ride away from Seattle and Tacoma. We have no bridge, and the ferry lines can be long and unpredictable. It takes a village of volunteers to do what we, living alone and isolated, no longer do for ourselves. There are not enough younger people to be hired, even if the money is there to do so. Sitting together for hours in the car, you can imagine the supportive relationships that develop between the drivers and their passengers. We are building community. We see the benefits. Now, can we work as partners with researchers who can document the value and success of this program? And we will go into discussion now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fran, for that incredibly thoughtful and compelling commentary. And indeed, we are going to be welcoming everybody's voices now as we begin the discussion segment of today's summit.